And welcome back. And before I even get started, of course, I am going to complain about the shortness of the intro because that is what I do. I can't even begin to get hype or amped. But it's go time. Nonetheless, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the UPR AEW Dynamite Review Show, the aftermath of Double or Nothing. I am your host, Z is Silent, but I am elite, and I am not alone. I am here with the executive consultant, my brother. How are you this evening? And you are muted.
Good, because I don't think I was going to say the right thing. I'm okay. I'm here. I'm ready to talk some AEW Dynamite. That's what
Wait, you are ready to talk AEW Dynamite? Because usually you're ready to ish all over it, and I think that tonight will be no different. I think tonight will be no different from you, but not a bad post Double or Nothing show in my opinion. It definitely did start out pretty heavy, and I was all for it. Right now we're going to get into the beginning of the night. They started off hot and heavy. We got the Lucha Brothers and Bandito versus the Blackpool Combat Club. We had Bryan Danielson on the commentary table, which is always a good thing. I love when he gets on the commentary table while the BCC is in the ring doing their thing. It's money on the microphone. It was great. The action in this match, top notch. Lucha Bros, at this point, I am dethroning the Usos as the number one tag team in the world as it stands today. Lucha Bros are there. I am dethroning the Usos and I am throning the Lucha Bros. I don't think there is anything that these guys cannot do in the ring. Their chemistry, their stamina is right up there with the Usos, probably even more because they're doing way more flips, way more moves than the Usos. I just think the Usos do a little bit more better storytelling. But what their chemistry is with Bandito versus the Blackpool Combat Club, and I really thought that this match in itself really showed, and maybe it might have been the commentary from Bryan Danielson that kind of led me to see what he was talking about, but really more so, this match was about Wheeler Yuta, and Bryan Danielson talked about the learning curve that he had to endure in the year and a half that he's been associated with the Blackpool Combat Club, and he had to take his lickings, he had to take his losses, and eventually he got tougher. He learned his technique and he showed it, and Danielson definitely shed light on that, and it showed in the match. And so for me, that was the MVP of the match. It was a couple little sloppy spots, but I think it was just more so of Mox and Claudio not being used to that speed of the Lucha Brothers, because they just go. I mean, even at Double or Nothing in the Battle Royal, they were just going. I don't even think they took a break in what they were doing. It was just every time I looked up, they were working on somebody, and I thought that was pretty dope from them. 100% banger of a match. I'm giving it a B+. But Wheeler Yuta gets the pinfall, and BCC goes over. Bryan Danielson comes out and he celebrates with his combat club. I thought that this was a perfect way to open up AEW Dynamite with what we got on Sunday from Double or Nothing. Your thoughts on this first match to open up Dynamite?
I couldn't agree with you anymore. Well, in some cases, I mean, some rare cases, no, but in some cases, I do believe this was the best match to start off the night. I think it was a phenomenal match. I mean, these four athletes in this ring are just some of the four top best in the world, and it's good to see these four come at it. But my MVP of the match definitely is Daniel Bryan. on commentary. I mean, that man has a future once he finally retires in commentary. He wants it. He's really good at putting people over. He actually made me believe there was a third member in this match with the Blackpool Combat Club. I honestly thought that somebody was out there with Cesaro and Jon Moxley. It was amazing. I'm not sold on Bandito. The Lucha Bros, I've been talking about how great of a tag team they've been for years. I mean, I'm just a huge fan of the Lucha Brothers, but I'm not that big a fan of Bandito. These six, you stop saying four. These six put on a hell of a match, but no matter how much they try, it's going to take a lot of effort for me to really be sold on one Wheeler Yuta. I think he's a talent. I just don't think he belongs in the Blackpool Combat Club, because he just looks like he doesn't belong. Him pinning King Omega does not change that. Him winning the match tonight does not change that. Now, granted, that's the what they should do in order to make him look like he is, in order to change people's minds. But if you look at the talent of the Blackpool Combat Club, Daniel Bryan, Antonio Cesaro, Dean Ambrose, Wheeler Yuta, it's not hitting yet. It's not. Jon Moxley kept quiet in order to try to put him over. Daniel Bryan spent the entire match trying to put him over.
Even a year and a half, he still doesn't have it for you.
No, I say, why is this guy there? He does not do it.
I beg to differ. I think that he grew on people.
If MJF says, I want to challenge one of you all for my AEW World Heavyweight Championship, Cesaro can step up, nobody will bat an eye. Daniel Bryan can step up, nobody will bat an eye. Jon Moxley can step up, nobody will bat an eye. You going to tell me Willie Yuta can step up and nobody will bat an eye?
Well, I mean, outside of...
That means no.
That's no, but I mean, every faction has...
a fall guy.
I'm not going to say it's a fall guy. It's a lower tier guy. I mean, they go for the secondary championships, and that's fine. You can look at DX. You can look at NWO. You can look at, I think the only, and of course I want to say it, the only faction that didn't was the Main Event Mafia. Even the Shield had to do it.
Resemble the Main Event Mafia to me.
Even the Shield somebody had to take the secondary title. So, I mean, somebody has to. If the top of the ladder is Danielson and Mox, the other two have to take what's left.
Okay, no, see, don't know. You're not. What you're not going to do is tag Claudio in there with Wheeler Yuta. You know why you should have tagged Claudio in there with Wheeler Yuta? I'll tell you, because even though AEW might forget, Claudio is the Ring of Honor World Champion. Oh,
are we really counting world champions from Ring of Honor?
I thought we were supposed to.
The almost defunct Ring of Honor. We're going to count that as a serious champion.
Tickets go on sale. I don't know if you saw it. Tickets go on sale for an event here in Orlando this coming Sunday that I will not be present for.
I think Mike said he's going. I think Mike said he was interested. So
okay.
I doubt it.
I can tell you
doubt it. So the next we get
hold on. We're gonna just gloss over the fact that Claudio came out with the Ring of Honor World Championship and they didn't even announce him as the Ring of Honor World Champion.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter.
No. You want to know what's even funnier? Then here come the Lucha Bros, and I keep forgetting they're the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, right?
They don't even acknowledge it. Like, Ring of Honor has become so secondary to Dynamite, and I don't understand why. You could have.
I don't understand why. Even WWE, when they have the NXT people show up, they call them the NXT Tag Team Champions or something. They acknowledge the fact that they're NXT something.
Exactly, and I'm right there with you. I don't understand. I'll get into it a little bit later when we talk about Collision, but it's just the fact that they don't really acknowledge that, and to make a whole another brand is you're going to bury this brand that you just bought months ago to keep it alive. I don't understand it, but that's neither here nor there. This promo between Jay White, Juice Robinson, Bullet Club Gold, Um, you're just a tag team. You're not a group. You're just a tag team. You're just a tag team. Um, Still, they've been in AEW for a month and a half. It's still not hitting, even with the hardcore Jay White fans, even with the hardcore Juice Robinson fans. It is not hitting. Whatever it is, the writers, the talent, I don't know what the disconnect is with them being in AEW, but it is not hitting. Um, that's not me shitting on, excuse me. That's not me crapping on these two guys. Is just you have to make you have to make fans care about the wrestlers. And it's almost eerily quiet every time they come to the ring. Every time they do something is eerily quiet. And I now need a reason to care, because them going after Ricky Starks still does not make me care. It makes me care more about Ricky because I get to see Ricky on TV, but it doesn't make me care about why I should care about these guys in a Jay White who's regarded as one of the top guys in the world. Some people would have him there at top 10 today in the world, and he's being reduced to early segments of the show and not even touching the mid card. He's not even in the mid card yet. And they call out FTR, something that I'm pretty sure most tag team fans probably wouldn't want to even think about or see, but it looks like this is what we got on the horizon. I'm definitely been coming around to FTR. I think that they definitely are top 5 in the world tag team. So for them, I think this is a step backwards. I enjoyed what they did at Double or Nothing. I enjoyed the feud that they had with Jarrett and Lethal. I think for these characters and Jay White and Juice Robinson, I think it's a step back. Now, if they can build this a little bit more and make me care about Jay White and Juice Robinson, all right, I will 100% say, hey, I was wrong. Now I care about this tag match that's eventually going to happen between these two teams. But for me, this was a disconnect. We're going to probably get another Bullet Club Gold member that's going to help them in the near future. I definitely smell a 6-man tag coming before you squeeze out everything that you can with this tag match. But for me, I didn't not like it, but it just didn't hit as much as I would have liked it to with these guys coming off of Double or Nothing. You needed to come out a little bit stronger for me, being eliminated by Ricky Starks, both of them being eliminated by Ricky Starks. And all you had to say is, I bet he feels good about himself. That didn't really do anything for me personally. Your thoughts on the promo with Jay White and Juice Robinson?
I was a fan. I liked it a lot. This is actually the first time I've seen these two, and I was really interested in them since they've been in AEW. Juice Robinson cringed me a little bit at the beginning tonight, but after about 4 sentences, I was like, oh, you know what? Not too bad. I think he did a good job. Let me tell you the highlight of this segment for me. FTR came out, and then when they were about to speak, Jay White just dropped the mic. Great. Loved it. I don't want to hear FTR speak. You bore me. So thank you, Jay White, for that. And then Juice Robinson with the sucker punch. It was the most interesting I've seen these two. I thought their appearances in AEW felt flat, and this was just really interesting. I'm actually interested to see where this goes. Unfortunately, Ricky Stark came out there with a chair for some reason, and they hightailed it. I mean, they're heels, so I guess that makes sense. But realistically speaking, I didn't see why they still outnumbered them. And Ricky Stark made the stupid mistake of throwing the chair in the ring first before he slid in. So you had the advantage. You had the high ground. I didn't understand. But whatever. It's wrestling. Got to make believe. But yeah, I definitely thought that it was good. I enjoyed it.
That is very surprising. Next, we had Swerve Strickland versus Big Bill versus Trent Beretta, in which, if anybody saw Double or Nothing, these probably were the MVPs next to the Lucha Brothers in that match, and only because Swerve was being the sneaky, sly heel that he's portraying. Big Bill was just being the dominant force, and Trent Beretta was just everywhere, being a workhorse, saving his best friend in Orange Cassidy, making sure that he doesn't lose that title. Even took a big boot from Big Bill I believe it was, to save Orange Cassidy's title. So I thought that was pretty dope. So to have these three in this match, I loved it. This was one of my favorite matches of the night. I absolutely love what Big Bill is doing in AEW. I think that they should build him up a little bit more. He should definitely be on the showcase of a Wardlow, right? Like how they built Wardlow up. You should be doing the same thing with Big Bill. He's jacked. He's definitely learned from his mistakes in WWE. He went to Impact, honed his skills, just like Impact. Everybody that goes to Impact from WWE, you work on what you didn't do right in the big company. You hone in on it on a smaller scale, and then you can come back on a bigger scale and do better. And I thought that Big Bill really has shown what he could have brought to WWE had he been more mature. But this match with these three men, I like Trent Beretta. I think he's a great talent. For some reason, it's something about his character with the best friends that doesn't really do much for me. He kind of coasts, but he definitely is a good talent to be in the ring with. Swerve's character, I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. We made such a big deal about Swerve coming to AEW, had a nice little run with Keith Lee, and now he's just in another group after forming another group. And I don't know, the sneakiness that he does is too. I hate to bring up the race thing, but I hate when like black characters are this like.
But that's him.
Well, yeah, but sometimes it doesn't fit. I don't think that it fits his, like, what are you? Like, are you a rapper? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you like an opportunist? Like, because I don't know which one you are. Like, are you going to rob somebody with these ski masks you're coming out with? I don't know what you are. Like, what are you?
He's another person I feel like tries too hard. But one thing I will commend about Swerve is I thought that his move to AEW, I was there when he premiered because I think it was a Revolution, which was here in Orlando last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it as like just another guy. And he's not going to do much better than he did in WWE on the main roster. And I stand corrected. I think he's done a tremendous job on the main roster of AEW. But now he's in this group, right? When he came out, I didn't even know he was with these guys. And I don't even know who these guys are. You know, I can tell they came out and they had, hey, here's a shock, more championships. Because everybody just had a championship. I'm like, what the fuck are these titles? I don't even know these guys. I assume they were Ring of Honor. If I remember correctly, when I have seen them before, they weren't on Ring of Honor. But I thought Swerve was in AEW. Is he in Ring of Honor? Is he in AEW? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. This match, I feel like I know it was a little comeuppance from Double or Nothing, but I feel like it was kind of thrown together. I don't see what you're seeing in Big Bill. The man is, 7 feet tall? You can't teach that. Shout out to Enzo. I just announced for him this past weekend. But you're 7 feet tall, and you should be dominating, and you're not. I mean, you did a good job in the Battle Royal, but you're not dominating. You're 2-2 in your matches? You're 2-2? Are you 7 feet tall or are you SAWFT? I don't know. But I need you to find your footing, so to speak. And when I mean you need to go to the back and talk to him like, hey, what's going on? I'm happy you got a job because there was a time when we didn't even know you were going to be able to wrestle anymore. So I'm happy to see you're doing something. I'm glad to see you change your name from William William Morrissey, whatever his name was, because that was not hitting. Big Bill is something sounds stupid, but it's better than William Morrissey, and it will probably catch on a little bit better. It's a play off of Big Cass. Trent Beretta, I think, is a fantastic talent, but just like I say about FTR, it's just that he bores me. This match wasn't bad, though. So, I mean, my only issues is I don't know what they're doing exactly with Swerve. I don't know what he wants to do. I don't know all these people. I don't know all these titles. And I feel like Big Bill deserves should be doing a little bit more. Not deserves better, but should be doing a little bit more. He needs to be an intimidating force.
I agree, 100%. So Next, we get into we hear from Don Callis and Takeshita, and
Dominant Mysterio level booze.
Oh yeah,
tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, I say it every time we're talking about managers. It's Paul Heyman, Don Callis. Everybody else falls in line. It's been that way ever since Paul Heyman aligned himself with Roman Reigns, and right after that, a few months later, Don Callis aligns himself with Kenny Omega, and they
don't really have a lot of competition. You have Smart Mark. There's that guy that was what was the people Page Vincent was, and I think Ego Page was in there.
Oh, Dan Lambert. Dan
Lambert was all right. Dan Lambert was all right. But then these guys with the Lucha Bros, and I don't know if that's a manager or translator or something.
He doesn't even really. Yeah, I think he's just a translator. He doesn't really talk much.
You know what he does? He gets free paycheck. That's how I feel like he gets a free paycheck because I don't understand his purpose.
This. For me, I thought Don Callis should have said a little bit more. I still don't understand what the alignment is, right? It's just, it still feels like, okay, Kenny is turning, so we need to get him and Don separated. That's strictly it. Like anybody who's been watching AEW, you can tell that that's what it was. But for me personally, I need more reasoning. I need more reasoning because we still don't know what the alignments is with Takeshita and Don Callis.
But I think the way they're doing it is fantastic.
It's definitely a slow burn. Yeah,
I like
a slow burn.
The entrance is fire to me. It kills me every time. No entrance music, just him doing these shady things to Kenny Omega. As his Titantron video is fantastic. The fact that he was, even if they were going to talk more about it today, I feel like it would have been, or it is a good call if they went this way. I'm not saying they did, to pull the plug and say, hey, let's wait a week or two again, because the amount of booze they got, I'm sorry, reminded me of Dominant Mysterio. That was fantastic. It was amazing. I think I actually shook him a little bit because it was really, really, really loud and really, really continuous. And it was one of my favorite segments of the night, if not my favorite segment of the night. I just think it was very well done. Probably one of the best things I've ever seen AEW Dynamite pull. That's how good it was.
I think the most important thing about this promo was not even actually in this promo. It was the fact that what was asked of Bryan Danielson in the first match of the night when they asked him if they are aligned with the BCC, and he says, I can't answer that for you right now. You'll have to wait and see what Don Callis says. So we kind of getting that tease. And if that is going to be a thing, I'm all for it.
I think if Takeshita goes to the BCC, which I don't think is happening, because I don't see Don Callis being in the same group as Dean Ambrose and Bryan Danielson. I just don't. But if that were to happen, say goodbye to Wheeler Yuta.
I knew you was going to say that.
I think they're already setting up for it, to be quite frank with you. I really do. I think they're setting up. The Wheeler Yuta is going to do all these things, and he's going to F up. And then Daniel Bryan's going to get tired of him. He's going to call him fickle, and he's going to boot him in the head.
Amateurs.
Daniel Bryan is such a great villain, yet funny at the same time. Like I don't know how he does it, but he's just so funny when he's a damn villain. But in a serious way, it's amazing to me.
All right, so we then get the announcement of Collision. Or Saturday Night Nitro. Everything about this logo says Monday Nitro. I don't understand it if you already bought Ring of Honor, because you could have Ring of Honor got rid of a lot of people that were in Ring of Honor, except for the heavy hitters, right? And then they started to move some of the AEW people over to the Ring of Honor roster. And then you sway away from that just to create another show. Meanwhile, Ring of Honor still doesn't have a weekly show.
But they're on YouTube.
They're on YouTube. But why put them on YouTube when you just bought them and you could have bought them to national television on a Saturday night?
Because if I'm TNT or TBS, I didn't pay for Ring of Honor. I was not interested in Ring of Honor before. I'm not interested in Ring of Honor now. It's just like, and I forgot who I was discussing with this with when WWE bought WCW. Originally, WCW was supposed to get their own TV time. That's what they were really working on. But USA Network and other networks said, I don't want WCW. I want WWE. But Vince was like, well, damn it. I bought all these wrestlers. And that's what led to the brand split between Raw and SmackDown, which, in my opinion, is the best thing that's ever happened for wrestling is the brand split. But it's a similar situation now. Tony was trying to make deals for Ring of Honor. Ain't no doubt. He paid all that money for Ring of Honor, which wasn't worth it. But he felt guilty because he put him out of business. But he paid all that money for Ring of Honor, and he needs to be able to utilize them. He wanted to put it on TV. No TV network wanted it. So right now he's utilizing what he can until he can figure out a game plan. But yeah, 100%. There was no, you know what? And also another speculation, because once again, I'm not behind the scenes on this. Another speculation is the fact that AEW Collision might have been originally for Ring of Honor. There is a strong possibility it might have originally was supposed to be for Ring of Honor. Saturday 8 o'clock. I think Saturdays is when Ring of Honor was on before. The problem is you wanted your biggest draw in the company to come back. That's CM Punk.
You gotta squeeze every penny you can out of him if you pay so much for him. You have to.
But if he can't be on Dynamite because he don't play well with others.
This is true. But I think the most exciting part for me in showing the promo of Collision had nothing to do with CM Punk. For me personally, I can give a good dog damn about CM Punk at this point. Mm-hmm. But it was the forgotten people that everybody has been saying for at least 2 years. What about Scorpio Sky? What about Miro? What about Andrade? What about La Mera Mera, who obviously is making her return? If you listen to Busted Open, she's Thunder Rosa.
Who?
Get out of here. Who's obviously is getting her health is getting much better, but she's still trying to keep it under wraps. But to get these people back, the forgotten people that actually have something to give to this company, I think that is the most exciting thing for me, because a Joe can be a world champion. Scorpio Sky, we all on multiple shows over the network, we've all praised Scorpio Sky, and he doesn't get the credit or respect that he deserves. He got the brass ring. That was it. He got the brass ring, TNT Championship, and that was it. That was where it stopped. I've seen Ethan Page lose more times on national television than I've seen Scorpio Sky on TV at all. But Saturday nights, I will definitely tune in to see those people. Once again, we're going to see Andrade. We're going to see Thunder Rosa. We're going to see Scorpio Sky. We're going to see Samoa Joe. We're going to see Miro. Miro should already be a world champion. Now, the question that I have for you is, do you predict that we're going to get more belts from AEW?
You don't need more championships. You don't. You have all these First of all, if you take out every single championship that's not AEW, right, and only had the AEW championships, I think they have too many titles right then and there, right? We don't know if Collision is going to be a brand split, a hard brand split like Raw and SmackDown are. How you doing, AJ Styles? But we don't know if they're going to be it's going to be a hard brand split. It's going to be a soft brand split. Well, the majority of the time, you're going to see CM Punk on Rampage. Not Rampage, but but not on Dynamite. You don't know that's going to happen. If they do, then they have the right amount of championships. I will have the TBS Championship one show, the TNT champion on another, the women's champion, whatever, however you want to do it. But if it's not, you have a little too many championships, my friend, because then we're not even counting Ring of Honor Championship. And if I was going to count the Ring of Honor Championship, you put it on AEW, but you don't really acknowledge it. That's ridiculous. Then I see you defend all these other titles from all these other promotions. I can't keep up. It's either all or nothing. It's either you're going to have them all come out with the championship and talk about the championship, give these other places a rub since you put some of them out of business, or don't have them come out with the championship so people don't ask no questions. Because when I see the titles, I get confused. Like, oh, these guys are important. Oh, but they lost badly. It's so confusing. Yeah. What we talk about, wait till we get to the hook segment.
Yeah, that's actually coming up after this match here. So we get a weird pairing. Well, I'm not gonna say a weird pairing, but it's just I don't know.
You mean you just tossed a rock in the ocean to see where it lands? Because there was no reason for Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin.
Okay. So I'm not alone with this one. Okay, I'm not alone with this one.
Yeah, I don't know if this is just a way for Darby Allin to be inserted into the AEW International Championship picture. I don't know. I just saw the commercial for it or the promo for it. I'm like, wow, this is random. Right? Against the Gates of Agony. And you know what? I'm glad you showed this promo because what I'm looking at right here, it says, because I was wondering what those championships are, and there they are right there. Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Championship.
That's the only way they acknowledge it. So wait. So they have the Trios Championship for AEW, and then you have a 6-man
for Ring of Honor.
For Ring of Honor. Gee, golly, legally. Okay. This match, well, first of all, I am nitpicking because I don't like the match pairing.
Okay.
Right? And I think, and so I like Gates of Agony. I think that these guys look like how a tag team should look. You got a muscular guy who's agile, he's fast, he's quick, and you got a big brute of a guy. I think that's a perfect pairing of a tag team, right? Like this is AEW's version of what the Viking Raiders should look like, in my opinion.
Okay.
Right? Like they're hard hitting, they're snub nosed, but every time I see them on TV on Wednesday, they're losing. But the fact that they lost to somebody who holds a thumbs up like this, and somebody who weighs 120 pounds and does a coffin drop, and I'm supposed to think that these two men that are 265 plus, that hurts them. I didn't understand it. I get it. Orange Cassidy, a star. Darby Allin, a star. But why do these two big guys who look like definite threats to them had to succumb to it continues to make the group that Swerve has joined himself with look more and more weak than they already look to the normal
group
eye.
that he took over because he was sitting up there like he was Roman. Look,
he definitely did.
I completely agree with you what you're saying, but I mean realistically, it's not like we thought the Gates of Agony were going to win. It's Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy, who's not lost all year. Orange Cassidy's that man. I'm just curious of where this goes. You know, I feel like there was a lot of things thrown together. I feel like there was a lot of missed opportunities. You didn't really have your world champion on. You didn't really have your world women's champion on. I thought that was a missed beat.
She just got a backstage segment. That's what she got.
And she came out for a brief period second in the main event, but it wasn't the same.
He got that back smacked in.
You know, your TNT champion wasn't on. Your TBS champion was, but you know what happened to your former TBS champion? And that's not even me just saying it because I'm biased. I just thought that people will want to hear from her. I feel like they didn't capitalize on a lot of momentum. The little momentum I feel like they did get off the pay-per-view, I don't feel like they capitalized well off of. But you know, I was happy to see Sting.
It's always a good listen. It's always a good night when I can see my favorite wrestler of all time. Yeah, he loves these. He loves these bomber jackets. Every time he comes out, he's got a bomber jacket on.
Because it covers his body. But I was happy to see Sting. I was excited. And I just think the segment was done very, very well. So I can't say I was upset with this match at all. I'm upset with the match, but again, like you said, what you just said, the segment post-match, I'm all for it. Because we now know that we're going to get Swerve Strickland challenging Orange Cassidy for the International Championship. And this might be one he'll lose because they're already setting up for him to lose very soon anyway because they're acting like he's getting burnt out because he keeps defending the title and the championship. Mm-hmm. You know who wasn't there that should have been there?
besides Wardlow?
Where was my man Double J E double? I mean, yeah, where was my man Double J? That's J E double F J E double R E double T. Where was Jeff at?
He probably was home nursing Karen because she sprained her ankle.
So who would want to nurse Karen, Jared?
Oh, listen, I'm all for it. So now we get the.
He's singing the song right now to it.
So right before we get to the TBS Championship match, we get Jungle Boy saving Hook. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I completely forgot that Hook was a thing.
I completely forgot. Hook also came around the championship.
That nobody gives a good dog damn about. Like Taz is talking about, we longest reigning FTW champion. Who's he defending against? A bunch of nobody.
That's Taz's championship, so he's going to put it over. But Excalibur tried to put him in his place a little bit and say it's not a recognized AEW championship. But then he looked at Taz and said, I don't want to get my ass beat. So I'll say it's still a respected championship that nobody defends. Look. Cap and I argue, or somebody and I argue. I think it's Cap. No, it's Sheriff who will come and join us tonight. She's attending her 8th wedding. But we get an argument because I say that Hook is not as over as Dominic Mysterio. At one point in time, he was more over than Dominic Mysterio, but he's taking a nosedive quicker than you can say Wardlow. Why? Because what is it for him? What is he doing? It's called stale. It's called stagnant. They need to do something with Hook, other than him just teaming up with somebody just to team up with them and offer him a stick and gum. Doesn't make sense. I will say that this segment, in my opinion, was the low point of the night. What was the whole point of Jungle Boy coming out there at all?
Yes.
I did not get it. That was just another, hey, these 4 pillars lost. No Sammy Guevara, by the way. These 4 pillars lost. We have nothing for them to do. Let me throw them in random spots. And that's what happened.
It you know what? Well, Sammy's probably at home with that, fine Ty Conti. Ty Mello. Sorry. Conti is her old husband's name. So we don't want to.
I no longer want to call it Conti.
Yeah. But congratulations to them. I thought that was a pretty dope moment.
Congratulations to them. Congratulations to Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, we ain't gonna see Alexa. Listen, we're gonna forget about Alexa Bliss. We're gonna forget about Carmella. I don't think that those 2 women are gonna be like, all right, well, let's pull a Becky Lynch and get back into it. I don't see that. I think that they are exactly where they want to be in life with their significant others. And that congrats to them. But
I see Carmella coming back. I don't see Alexa Bliss coming back.
Not for a while. I get 2 years at least.
As Carmella, I see be back by SummerSlam 2024. Alexa Bliss at the very earliest WrestleMania 42.
I think Carmella's due September or something, and Alexa's doing in like December. So, yeah, I think I would agree with that. I would agree with both of those. But it sucks because it doesn't suck because that's a blessing. That's a blessing. But for those that watch AEW All Access, and it was brought to my attention when I was listening to Busted Open, and I never really thought about it. When you watch that show, when those people are on Dynamite, they get no reaction or barely any reaction, right? But then when I watch All Access, it gives me a reason to care about Sammy Guevara, about Ruby Soho, about Ty Mello. I'm sorry.
It's the same thing Total Divas used to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it gives you a more perspective on the male wrestlers as well. Like to see the interaction between Ruby Soho and Eddie Kingston. Like Eddie Kingston seems more human than an asshole that he does on TV, even though he's from New York, straight through and through. Like you could tell it's in the accent, his walk, his talk, everything. But when he gets around Ruby, she knows that he's that type of person that she needs to hear something from him. And I thought that AEW All Access made me care about Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello more than AEW Dynamite could have. And they won't be on for a while, maybe, but it did make the fans get behind Sammy a little bit more. And you're right. Sammy should have been there tonight. He should have been there. I think all 4 pillars should have been there tonight. And I think they dropped the ball with Sammy. But
they definitely just needed to keep the momentum, and they didn't do it today.
Yeah. Moving on to this TBS Championship match, which I thought was a weird match to make. And I thought it was a weird match to make because we don't hear from Nyla Rose for months. We know Vicky's gone. Now, who was that was beside her? Was that Marina Shafir? Was that?
It was.
Okay, because she was there for like a split second and dipped.
Yeah,
I was like,
who
was that?
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't hear from Nyla Rose while Jade had the championship. Soon as Chris Statlander comes back, now all of a sudden.
Well, remember Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill had a program some months ago.
They did.
Where she stole the title.
She did. Yeah, they did.
But Nyla hasn't been seen or really heard from that much since. I think she might have wrestled a few matches on one of the other shows. I don't know. But I agree with you. It was a little weird to put out there, but they needed Chris Statlander to
look strong. I get it.
Yeah,
but you're going to look strong against a man?
Yeah.
I get it. But there's no equal rights over here on this show. The facts is the facts. And that's what it is. That's what it's going to be at all times. But I love Chris Statlander. I think that she is definitely AEW Women's World Champion material. This is to get her footing back. I think a lot of AEW fans were clamoring for Chris Statlander to be the one to take it off of Jade. A lot of people called it before Jade got to 40-0. They were calling for Chris Statlander, and she's just been a workhorse. I follow on Instagram. She's always working out, always in tip-top shape, always doing something good. And like, this is her time. She's been in the wings, in the shadows for so long since AEW started. And it's about time that she get her shine. And Jade's had a good run. I've been very critical of Jade's run, saying that she didn't face anybody. And I still stand on it. I'm going to stand on it. But she's had a good run. It's fine. But she's also very, very marketable. Jade is super marketable. And now it seems like now Jade is going to take that Britt Baker role where Britt's out doing promo, press, whatever, interviews, all that, still promoting the brand of AEW. And that's fine. You want somebody like Jade Cargill to look like that and promote the company. Not saying Chris Statlander's bad looking, because I definitely think that she is very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Very attractive. Body very similar to a mommy, aka Rhea Ripley. But it's time for her. It's time for her to show what she can do in the ring. She's been there. AEW's been there 4 years, 3 years,
4 years in
4 years.
August.
Yep. So it's her time. This match was good. It was a good showing for Chris Statlander. The 450 that she did, great, because she
landed flush.
Like women that like look tall are not actually tall. Like 5'8", 5'9" is tall for a woman. I'm 5'8", right? Like, but the way that she looks, trying to curl her body to do that 450, that takes a lot of technique.
Yeah,
Nyla Rose did that cannonball. I was like, whoa. But then again, that's a whole man. But nonetheless, I thought it was a good match. It was an enjoyable match. The first time seeing Chris Statlander in an actual match and not a bum rush match, I loved it. I loved everything about Chris Statlander. Shout out to Nyla Rose for him giving her the props in the mixed match matchup of the night, because that was a mixed match appetizer, because our main event was a mixed match challenge for AEW. Your thoughts on Chris Statlander and Nyla Rose?
I mean, the match was pretty decent. I'm actually a fan of Nyla Rose, and I'm a huge fan of Chris Statlander. I just feel like she can do so much. It was a little weird and out the blue to me, but still did everything it had to do. So, I mean, Thumbs up for me.
Well said. All right, so now moving on,
We're going to the last match of the night,
in which I was a fan of 100% as soon as they announced it. After Double or Nothing, after what happened at Double or Nothing, Soraya and Chris Jericho versus Adam Cole and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I'm a huge Soraya fan, huge Jericho fan, huge Britt Baker fan. I don't really care for Adam Cole, baby, but yeah, he's okay. But I think the chemistry that Soraya and Jericho have is really, really dope as heels. Really good. And we saw that when Jericho called on the Outcast to beat down Britt Baker with the kendo stick. I think that the story between Soraya and Britt Baker is definitely far from over, just as much as the story between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker is not finished. It's far from finished. It's just now beginning. But if I'm not mistaken, is this the first mixed tag match of AEW's history?
No. I remember Tay and Sammy Guevara teamed up a few times.
Did they? Yeah. Oh, that's right, because they had that mixed tag match, the mixed tag titles from like
Triple
Mexico
A or something like that.
Triple A, yeah. Yep. Okay.
So it's not the first one. This might be the first one in the main event. I'm not sure. I can't say I speak intelligently to that, but I thought this match was very good. I'm not exactly a fan of the ending, where Chris Jericho lost again. I don't see where this is going. I could see if I thought he was on his way out, but he's not. I still think he has at least a year in him.
I'm giving it 2. Like he says that he doesn't want to retire ever, so I'm going to give him like 2 before he feels.
Yeah, I mean, he has to. Sooner or later, he has to. I already see him slowing down the ring. I mean, he's older, so I'm not going to beat him up for it. I always say that I prefer you to retire a little bit younger, so what the last matches and moments we remember of you is strong. I always had that problem with Undertaker.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just think that guys like Jericho, guys like Sting, they are actually probably Sting's in like 64 or something like that, 65, I believe. Still in really good shape as opposed to guys that he wrestled, Hogan, Flair, Steamboat, Ricky Morton, like guys like that, like they can barely walk, and Sting is jumping off the top rope, still taking bumps. Jericho is still doing his thing, but Jericho understands that he's not Y2J in 2002. Correct. So people made fun of him and body shamed him for the weight that he picked on, not knowing the character that he was developing, and that was very reminiscent of a Bruiser Brody. And if you know who Bruiser Brody was a guy that had the same type of build as Jericho, but he used to be cut. And he put on fat and he put on muscle to make himself more formidable as a heel. That's a heel persona. That's a heel body that Jericho has. And if you know the psychology of a Bruiser Brody, then you would know that. And I think that Jericho is playing his character very well. I think that he's sticking to what he can do. We know that we're not going to get too many lion salts from Jericho. That's fine. He's more of a striker now. He still does it. He's more of a striker now. And the pairing between him and Adam Cole, I didn't know how it was going to play out, but I actually like this feud a lot. They're building layers and layers onto it. I think that, this isn't over until whatever next special that they have that's on regular TV, which is supposed to be a pay-per-view, but they put it on regular TV and change the name of it.
Don't they have a pay-per-view in July coming up?
They only do 4. They're
about to have a full gear, and then they have All In. They have quite a few things coming up.
Oh, well, I think it'll be over with by next special that they have, which is fine because this has been going on for 6 weeks already.
It's not doing it. I don't think the right decision was to have Adam Cole win. I think this needs to lead to Undisputed Era coming in. In order to do that, they need to get beat down along with him, his brother, and his nephew too.
Yeah, but I think that even though Adam went over, right? The fact that we still saw, usually when you're getting that last shot of the night where the heels are going back to the ramp, the winners are in the ring and they're celebrating.
Right.
We got a camera shot of Jericho smacking the steel chair against the turnbuckle,
Yeah,
and then throwing it in the ring.
That's him throwing a fit. I don't know what that means.
We'll
see. But I didn't see the Jericho Appreciation Society come out at all. That was weird for me.
That was definitely weird. We usually do get some JAS incorporation into everything. And speaking of JAS, I hope Anna Jay doesn't get lost in the shovel now that Ty Mello's gone. That would make me sad. She's got a fat ass and a bad attitude. It's not me being perverted. That's what it says on the shirt. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in to Unpopular Reviews AEW Dynamite Review Show. I am Zia Silent. That is the executive consultant. We will see you guys next Wednesday. So, in the words of, Shannon Sharp is leaving FS1. So, I'm going to continue to keep it alive. In the words of Shannon Sharp, yeah, I like fried chicken. I like chocolate too. But if I got the fried chicken, I need the chocolate for? And if somebody don't like you, tell them you don't give a good dog damn about it, and tell them that the almighty Zia Silent told you. Until then, live, love, laugh, love hard, love often, and drink, be merry, and reach for the sky, boy.